Good morning, traders. How's everybody doing here this morning? Thank you guys once again for tuning in to another live stream here this morning. We're going to go over some stocks as always. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to wait here for a few more people to get in, and then we should be able to get rolling. So we will give it a second here, wait for some more people to hop in. We'll go ahead and flip to the next screen while we're here. Just so that way some of you guys that are just now tuning in can go ahead and get some of these stocks onto maybe your watches. So up at the top, you will see that there is something scrolling to the left. That is going to be my watch list for today. I may trade some other stocks, just depends on how the day goes, and maybe some scanners pick up some things I was unaware of. But up at the top will be my watch list. And then here you will have all the stocks gapping up and stocks gapping down as far as the top stocks gapping up and down. So you can feel free to screenshot that, write those tickers down, do as you please. Good morning, Tom, Sam, Joshua, Ian, Yuri, Daniel, Pablo, Alberto, Rick, James, and I can't pronounce that one, but hello, good morning to you guys as well. All right, so anywho, we're going to get going here very soon. We're going to just wait. We'll wait here a little bit longer, get some more people in so that they can go ahead and take a look at the screenshot here too. What's going on, Mr. X-Man 500, Scott, Mike, Andy? Good morning, guys. Hopefully today brings us all the riches in the world. Last week was phenomenal trading for me. I've had my greatest profit in like a day ever, thanks to NIO. So they won't always be like that, but when you see a stock like that, and you got the feel for it, I'd recommend trading it, right? So, I mean, it's not, I don't typically go that hard on stocks, but every once in a while, the market will provide you a great opportunity, and when you can seize it, that's what you should do, right? So, I did hit NIO pretty hard, but that's only because I'd watched it all day long, and I got comfortable with it, was realizing how it was trading, and so I was able to capitalize on a lot of the small little moves that it was making. All right, good stuff, Rick. Well, all right, so there you guys have it. So make sure to screenshot this stuff or take down a few of the stocks on the top of the screen there so you guys can go ahead and get going from there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing the next screen here, guys. All right, so starting with, we'll talk about which one should we start with? We'll talk about NIO first. So let me do this and. Right, so NIO is rolling over a little bit pre-market right now, okay? So we don't really have to touch too much on the past days because everybody kind of knows what already took place there. So again, we're going to look at NIO right now, and from it going up really big the other couple days, and now it dropped on Friday as kind of expected. It's rolling over just a little bit pre-market. So in terms of what it's doing right now, it actually looks a little bearish, but I do like the way that it rolled over here and got quickly bought right back up. So the way I see it is this can still be a long on the day, but it needs to do something like this, where it bounces and recovers back up to like right here, and then we might see it go like this, okay? So the way I see it is right now, NIO is like 50-50. It's really not super bullish. It's not quite yet super bearish. It hasn't really picked a direction for the most part. Now, let's say it does end up picking up and having a good day. It's very possible with the amount of hype that's around it, we could see it run all the way up to, from 10 to 11. If it gets to 11, we could see it testing the $12 mark, because $12 is also a previous resistance from, Friday's trading. Okay, so it's possible that this thing could have a big day. There's a lot of people that have been trading it, so it also runs the risk of becoming overcrowded and it starts a really choppy trading day. So for right now, NIO is simply on the watch list, right? There's nothing about it right now that gives you a thumbs up, a green light that it's a long bias trade. There's nothing that gives you a thumbs up that it's a short bias trade. In my personal opinion, I am more long bias on NIO because it is a recent IPO. We had this massive push. We had a massive pullback, right? So now it's down towards support. And what I mean by that is over here, you could see it had a nice spike, right? It bounced on Friday's trading there. It bounced right about there in today's pre-market trading. It's sort of like doing a little bounce here right now. So far, this thing is kind of holding that line right now. Okay, so if it can kind of hold this line and start curling back up in this direction, I would imagine we're probably going to see another push. Now, is it going to be anything as big as the one we've seen a couple days ago? Probably not. I would be expecting, maybe $1 to $1.50 push. It really just all depends, right? It really all depends. Now, it's a recent IPO, so with the recent IPO, most retail traders and retail brokers don't have shares available to short, so this takes out part of the, it takes out the possibility, or it takes out a lot of the players in the game. Since there's not a lot of shorts in it, you don't really run the risks, or you don't run the probabilities or chances or opportunities of a short squeeze per se, because there's really no shorting taking place on it. There might be some institutions or maybe some hedge funds that somehow, some way do have shares to short, but in terms of the retail traders and most retail brokers like E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Lightspeed, Interactive Brokers, NinjaTrader, etc., they don't really have shares to short on it, so there's no traders in here that can really cause a short squeeze. So you have to take out that consideration. So at this point, it's strictly longs that are propping the price up, if anything. So there has to be enough people that are willing to buy this today to make this thing push. There is no going to be short squeezing action, anything like that. So we'll see. Right now, I'm basically on the fence with NIO. All right, let's see. Just reading a few questions here. All right, on to the next one. I'll do ABIL. So ABIL is a penny stock this morning, gapping up, kind of spiking. So the reason I like this one, and remember, I don't mention penny stocks very often. Okay, so the only time I really mention a penny stock is when I think there is somewhat of a good chance of it having a good day. So looking at this looking at the yearly chart, ABIL has resistance right at $5.33. So right now, ABIL does have a major resistance right at $5.33. So about $1 away from the current price, ABIL has a strong resistance. The reason I sort of like it is because if you look at a 180-day chart, you'll see that it's kind of holding this. Hold on, excuse me, let me remove that and start a new one. That's not it. One second. So let me draw this trend line. You'll see it's kind of holding this trend. All right, speaks, bounce, hits the trend line again. And if we go from the highs down, you can see right there, it just kind of, so right, think about it. Oh, excuse me. We have the massive spike on ABIL, then it pulls back, it goes through another spike, fades down. Now it's breaking through this downward trend line. It's holding that uptrend. So it just got to the end of its pattern. It's gapping up to the upside over it with a nice curl. We could definitely see a spike on ABIL today. So definitely going to be watching ABIL long. So does that make sense to everybody there? You can see that, right? It had the massive spike, so it puts in a high. It pulls back crazy, puts in a higher low from, that previous low there. So now we have a higher low. We spike again, right? And then it fades all the way down, puts in another higher low. Okay, so we are trending up. And it gets to the end of this pattern, breaks out of that pattern, gaps up, and it has a curl pattern to it, right? So there is, I think, strong chance we're going to see ABIL start moving to the upside today. Now, I don't really like the way the chart pattern looks so far this morning because it gapped up, hit 465, had a massive pullback. So now there is a strong resistance at 465. So definitely just going to be watching this one for right now. But I do think, in terms of where it's at right now, we could probably see it is pulling back. Where is this? 414. 414, 414, 414. Yeah, I would say if ABIL can kind of hold 420 and hold 411, it can be good for a long. So just going to be watching it, to see what it starts doing. If it can hold above 411, stay in this 420s area, then we might see, a nice spike out of the gate, something like that. So just keeping ABIL on watch right now. Yearly chart, day or 180-day chart, all looks pretty good to me. Just depends on whether or not we have enough people watching it and willing to trade it today. All right, next one on the watch list is NEPT. So NEPT, I'm not super crazy about. I've never traded it before, but I did think it was worth mentioning because they did receive some good news this morning. So NEPT, Neptune Technologies, receives a Health Canada confirmation letter. So probably some type of department that deals with the health services in Canada. Neptune Technologies, or NEPT, just got their basically their confirmation letter that they got the green light on becoming a licensed producer under the Access to Cannabis for Medical Purposes regulations in Canada. So just kind of sounds like they're kind of getting some ground or getting some movement, or seeing some progress and movement forward in the direction of joining into the cannabis industry within Canada, at least. So NEPT just received some strong news today. So definitely going to just watch this one to see if there's enough traders that are kind of actively going to be trading NEPT based on that positive cannabis news that has been received this morning on the stock NEPT. So it does have some good news. As we know, the cannabis stocks have been going crazy, so hopefully there might be enough hype around the cannabis industry on today that could drive NEPT kind of crazy on the day. So I'm going to be watching that one as well. All right, so looking at the yearly chart just basically shows we have a high here at 475. 180-day chart shows that we broke through that previous high. We hit a high of 497. So we do know that right now this $5 area, right in this $5 area, is a strong resistance. Okay, so I'm going to be watching NEPT. If it can hold above 460 and even like 463, I think it might be good for a long. So just going to be watching it carefully to see if it stays above, the pre-market low and this price of 460, 463. Okay. On to the next one. Let's see. What else do I have on here? AMD. Hold on. Let me look at some questions here. New to trading. Ben, yeah, I mean, NIO could go back up. There's no guarantee it will. See, that's the issue with do you think, right? We never know for sure, right? That's why when trading it, you have to make sure you're getting in at a safe price, right? So that you can hold it, anticipating moves up. It's when you buy at an incorrect price that you don't really have the luxury of holding it. Because you're just losing, right? If you get a bad price. So at this time, it's hard to tell. I personally think it is going to go up. In my personal opinion, I do think we're going to see NIO rise. I mean, it's a pretty cheap IPO. It's got a lot of room to the upside. We've already seen it can definitely move. So I think give it a few more days and maybe we might start seeing some traction pick up on NIO again, but no promises yet. Next one here is going to be AMD. So we'll look at AMD. I do believe today is going to be a big short day on AMD. So if you look at the daily chart, this shows, so before I looked at the 180-day chart, which made my analysis wrong, but I think my analysis is going to be right this time. So on the 180-day, we have or 1 year, we have one push followed by our first pullback. We had our second push followed by our second pullback. We had our third push followed by a massive third pullback. And now we're popping up, but we're coming up short of the high a day, or 52-week high now. So I think we might start rolling over like that. Okay, so if you look at the 180-day chart, it becomes a little bit more clear. So again, you can kind of see this, right? We had our push up, pullback, push up, pullback, push. Drastic pullback, pops up, rejects 33. Now it's rolling over. So I do believe we kind of performed a small little double top, lower high pattern on AMD. So I do believe AMD is going to be setting itself up for a red day today. So going to be looking to get short on AMD. So if and when AMD breaks through this $32 level, I think it's going to be a strong short, and we could see this probably fade all the way out. It does have the strength to fade or drop all the way down to a low of 30 today. Based on what we've seen it do from when it hit its highs of 34, it dropped from 34 to 30, so it could definitely drop from 32 to 30 today. So going to be keeping AMD on a close watch for a short, anticipating that we started a lower high potential backside move. All right, so we have this going down like yet, and then you have support down here at 30. So this is what I foresee could be happening with AMD. Pull back, pop up, roll over, down to there, something like that. So I do believe we have a good trade coming up on AMD to the downside today. Okay, next one on the list. Netflix, I'll talk about briefly. I have some drawing tools on here going to take off. All right, I'm going to do some things here that most of you probably won't understand, but that's going to be just fine. So if we look at this yearly chart for Netflix, okay, so if we do this yearly chart for Netflix, I'm going to do a Fibonacci. Actually, we're going to scratch that. We're not going to do the yearly chart. We're going to do we're going to do a 180-day chart. All right, so if we do this 180-day chart, I'm going to get a little crazy with it. If we go from like the low from 310 to its previous, like big high here at 377 on a Fibonacci, you'll see that, right? So if we do this, if we did a Fibonacci, you'll see that it bounced, hit 370, and then it pulled back right to the 60 and the 50% retracement level, which are the two strongest retracement levels on a Fibonacci that are the most respected. And then, of course, you can see from there, the stock bounced, went all the way up to test the previous high areas in which it failed, and it's starting to pull back now. All right, so now that we've pulled back, or started to pull back, we could do a Fibonacci extension, which would come from this high. Oop, I did that wrong. Apologies. Let me delete that. So we could do an extension from there up to a previous high here. So right now that we have the Fibonacci extension into there, so there's a lot going on here, but basically what I'm getting at is I do believe in the coming days we're going to see Netflix pulling back to about a price of 350, anywhere from really 358 to 354. So I think we're going to see Netflix pull back to 358, 354, and then it's going to get bought up, and then we're going to go on a strong push to the upside. So considering all that crazy stuff I just put on my chart, let's make it a little bit more simple for you guys. All right, I believe what we're going to see happen here with Netflix is this. I believe Netflix is going to do this, where it pops up, pulls back, popped up again, it's pulling back, and it's going to drop down to about here, this area of support. We're going to see it get bought up, and then it's going to break out to the upside. It's going to break over these two previous highs, and then we're going to go on a nice run. So watching Netflix for a small, really just keeping Netflix on watch. I'm not really crazy about shorting it nor longing at this price, but going to be keeping on watch just because I do believe it's setting itself up for another move to the upside. Okay. All right, last one on the watch list here is going to be TEVA. So TEVA, pharmaceutical company, received strong news this morning that the FDA approved their migraine preventative treatment. So basically, TEVA, pharmaceutical company, gets FDA approval for their migraine treatment. So that's what I'm currently watching. It's a strong pharmaceutical company. Just simply watching it today for a long bias trade. If it can hold above, if it can hold above 24, 24.11, you know, right in this area, basically above anywhere. If it can stay above anywhere from like 24.20 to 24, I would consider it as a possible long, where we're going to be looking for a dip buy here and then a long. All right, so just keeping on watch for a simple dip buy long around the pre-market level support areas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that is all I have for you here today on today's live stream. So as always, thank you guys once again for tuning in. This is actually, I think, the largest amount of people we've ever had on a live stream all at once. I don't think we've ever had 600 and above 600 people all on a stream all at one time. So that's really exciting and really cool, and I'm really happy about that. That gets butterflies all in my stomach. Don't think we've ever reached those numbers. So that's good. That means that my reach is becoming greater, which just means more people will be able to hear about good stocks and learn a bunch of cool new things when it comes to stocks, because we all know I'm super good at teaching people. So that's awesome that we're getting out that far. So I'm happy to have anybody who is new. So we definitely have more than we've ever had before. So that means that there's got to be some new people in here. So for those of you that are new, thank you for joining in. Basically every single day, this is exactly what we do. We're going to run through some stocks. I try to keep a pretty diverse watch list, so you can kind of have a lot of, you get some larger price stocks, you get some lower price stocks. I basically throw out the stocks that I feel the most comfortable talking about in terms of I think they're stronger or have potential for moves. And then, of course, as you can see on this screen, we'll put up the little watch list at the top, and then you have all the stocks here on the right side of the screen that are gapping up and down. So I provide you with pre-market movers, simple watch list, and we'll go into the technical analysis side of things like that. Anywho's, yeah, exactly. If I could make $20,000 trading every day, yeah, the numbers would go nuts. But anywho, all right, guys, that's all I have for you here today. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. I will see you guys all tomorrow morning and for a recap video here later today on today's trading. So hopefully that all goes well. We can keep another green streak on the move. Yeah, I think I'm going, because it's Thursday. I think I'm on like a three or 4 day green streak now. I definitely had some red days last week, so I think I'm on a 3-day green streak now. From I don't know, I have to double check. I think I was green Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I had red days on Monday and Tuesday. So I think we're on a 3-day green streak now. So anywho's, thank you guys again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys all here a little bit later today for our recap video and for another pre-market watch list.